There's a group of adults alive today who grew up dialing numbers on plastic wheels and later unlocked touchscreens with their thumbs, and psychology still struggles to categorize them. If you were born roughly between the late 70s and mid-80s, you sit awkwardly between two generations. Not quite Gen X, not really millennial, yet constantly labeled as one or the other. Researchers eventually began calling this group Xennials, sometimes even a microgeneration, because the time window is unusually narrow. And that small window matters more than it seems. Something about living through that exact historical moment shaped a mindset worth understanding. Today, we're looking at it psychologically, not nostalgically. Your childhood started in a fully analog environment. Boredom wasn't something to fix, it was something to endure. You memorized phone numbers because you had to. Missing your favorite show meant waiting a week or never seeing it again. Then, adulthood approached and the world flipped. Not slowly, abruptly. The digital age arrived almost overnight. That timing created consequences still unfolding today. Most generations grow up entirely inside one technological system. But you didn't. You experienced two different realities during the years you were figuring out who you were. Your teenage years and early 20s barely resembled each other. Think about daily life back then. Passing handwritten notes in school, making plans without updates, and showing up to a place simply hoping your friends arrived. What did that require? Trust, commitment, and patience. Then suddenly, mobile phones appeared everywhere. Friendster, MySpace, then Facebook. Communication multiplied overnight. Before social media, you had only a few ways to contact someone, but now there were endless channels and you adapted without formal instruction. Why does that matter? Because brain development research shows the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for adapting and learning complex skills, continues maturing until around age 25. You were still inside that developmental window during the technological revolution. You were flexible enough to learn technology naturally, yet old enough to remember life before it. Gen X often treats technology cautiously because they adopted it as adults, while younger millennials never experienced a pre-internet world at all. Xennials experienced both, producing a rare mental dual fluency. You can talk face-to-face without reflexively reaching for a phone, yet new software rarely intimidates you. You remember being unreachable for hours and being fine with it. And that difference quietly affects behavior. You probably view privacy differently. Your embarrassing moments faded into memory instead of permanent archives. A bad haircut, awkward relationship, or humiliating party wasn't documented forever. It survived only through storytelling. Some memories heal because they aren't recorded. Human memory naturally reshapes experiences. Psychological studies on autobiographical recall show our brains edit, compress, and reinterpret events over time, but permanent digital documentation interferes with that process. When everything is searchable, memory stops evolving. Now things get complicated. You also entered adulthood near the 2008 financial crisis. Exactly when stability should have formed, instability appeared, and that matters psychologically more than people assume. Economic research shows hardship during early career years leaves lasting impressions. Even after recovery, risk perception stays altered, and security feels fragile. You learned adaptation, but also learned caution. So you became a generation comfortable with change, yet quietly expecting collapse. And this combination is rarely discussed. Public debates lump everyone into huge categories, but birth years during rapid societal shifts create unique psychology. Xennials carry independence from pre-internet childhoods. Parents often didn't track your location constantly. You solved boredom alone and handled problems without instant adult intervention. Yet you also entered adulthood believing technology would connect humanity and solve problems before discovering it also introduced new ones. It's a strange position, independent yet collaborative, skeptical yet hopeful, analog yet digital. What defines you is not nostalgia but contradiction tolerance. You saw what was gained and what was lost simultaneously. You appreciate modern convenience, but you also remember uninterrupted thinking, waiting, silence, and focus. Progress gave speed, but it stole stillness. Attention changed, patience shortened, and solitude became rare, yet opportunities expanded beyond anything childhood imagined. This leaves a familiar feeling not fully belonging anywhere, too old in some spaces and too young in others. But that isn't a flaw. It's the core feature of your experience. You lived through a societal transition firsthand, and that teaches a powerful lesson. Environments change, identities must adapt, yet selfhood can remain intact. In a rapidly shifting world, that skill may be increasingly valuable. You learned how to evolve without erasing yourself. If this resonated, tap like and support Psychology Prime so more psychology content reaches you. I'll have more explorations ready soon, different subjects, same depth. See you next time.